What is going on, everybody? This is Football Exclusive, and welcome back to another college football predictions video. And I do apologize for not uploading recently. I tried to past few days, and I actually did have the recording set, and when I was editing, it just didn't sound great. So I'm trying to do it again, and I don't know if this one's going to be good or not, but just try to stick to the flow with me, I guess. And I'm doing the Oklahoma State Cowboys today, and I'll try to catch up and maybe do some 2 college teams a day. Sometimes I might do Alabama later today. I know that's definitely the next team though, but stay on the lookout for that. Today we have the Oklahoma State Cowboys, and they have a pretty good quarterback, Spencer Sanders, and then they have a great running back, Cuba Hubbard. So they have a pretty solid offense, great quarterback and running back behind him. So taking a look at their schedule, you look and they have Oregon State starting off the season. Oregon State, I just don't think they'll be able to compete against Oklahoma State really well to where they'll give them so much trouble. I think it'll be like a 2-possession difference in this game, and I think Oklahoma State will win this game by like 14 points, somewhere in that area. Then Tulsa, I think this game is going to be even more rough than the Oklahoma or Oregon State game. So I think Oklahoma State will win that game. Western Illinois, that's a win. We can already give them that. And then you have the bye week, so you're starting off 3-0, and you're already bringing that confidence into the bye week, and then going on the road at TCU. TCU is a pretty good team. In my opinion, I think they were better than their record showed last year. Going 5-7, didn't make the bowl game. But I still think TCU is a pretty good team. I think they'll be better this year. Lost a weapon on offense, Jeff Gladney. And I think TCU will be good this year. And it's also on the road, so that makes it even harder for Oklahoma State. But I do think talented-wise, Oklahoma State is the better team. And they have a 3-0 momentum going into this game, and they're well rested from that bye week. I think Oklahoma State will win that game in a close game. Iowa State next up on the list. They got pretty much nothing compared to Oklahoma State. Iowa State is a pretty good team. They are pretty good, but I think Oklahoma State is the better team. At Kansas is just not there yet. Even though it's on the road, that probably will make it a little bit more competitive. But I do think Oklahoma State will win it about 2 possessions. Then you got at Oklahoma, this is the big test. The other 2 tests already earlier this season was TCU and Iowa State. I think those were the 2 biggest games so far. Then you got this game, which I think either TCU or Oklahoma, those 2 are the biggest games of the season. Texas is another big one down at the last game, but I do think Oklahoma is the biggest game on the season. And it's on the road, so that makes it even more hard. Oklahoma, always really good year in, year out. But they did lose a lot. They lost Jalen Hurts, CeeDee Lamb. So losing a lot of weapons on offense, and that's going to be really difficult for Oklahoma. Bringing in a 5-star freshman, Spencer Rattler, to replace Hurts. So they're not completely empty. And Lincoln Riley is a really good head coach, especially with quarterbacks. You see him in the Heisman race about every year for the past 3 years. You have Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and then Jalen Hurts. And now Spencer Rattler might be a contender in the next couple years, if not this year. But I do think he is a freshman, so that's a lot of pressure on him in this game. But I still think that Oklahoma is more talented than Oklahoma State. So I think Oklahoma State will have their first loss to Oklahoma this season. Texas Tech up next. That's at home for Oklahoma State, and I still think Texas Tech won't be able to beat them even if it was on the road. It'll be a somewhat close game though, so I still think Oklahoma State will win that game. Then at Baylor, Baylor, what an impressive run you had last season. It was really impressive. You almost beat Oklahoma first game. They came back on you. Sorry to upset Baylor fans. Baylor, you were pretty good last year, but you're losing quite a bit. I expect a fall year. Definitely not as good as last year. So I think Oklahoma State will win that game. I think it'll be close though. I don't expect it to be a blowout. Then West Virginia. See, West Virginia, that's another team. I think they're a little bit better than their record showed. WVU's not a bad team, but I think Oklahoma State will beat West Virginia. They usually do fairly well against WVU every year, and I think West Virginia will do better this year, but I don't think they'll beat Oklahoma State. Next up, at Kansas State. That's another hard game. Kansas State is one of those other teams that are pretty solid. Not as good as like Iowa State or anything, but still, yeah, they are a pretty good football team. And I think Oklahoma State will win that game anyway. I think it'll be somewhat of a close game. That's another good game to watch. Then you got Texas. Now look at you guys. You guys are 10-1. You guys are probably ranked pretty high at that record, and that's probably a little bit unrealistic. I think you all can do it. This is the game that'll probably decide maybe a Big 12 championship if Texas has a pretty good record or another team. And if you guys win this game, there is a slight possibility if you win this game and go in the Big 12 and win, you can make a college football playoff. But it's Oklahoma State, and I don't think they have that much talent to go that far. So I do think they'll lose to Texas. Yeah, I do think Texas is still better talented-wise. They have a pretty great quarterback, Sam Ehlinger. Texas is a really good school, and you saw that against Utah. Texas had a couple bad games. It was all last season, and I think they will be way better. So I think Oklahoma State will finish pretty solid at 10-2, which is totally not bad and nothing to complain about. Will put you in a pretty solid bowl game. So that's all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be on the lookout for the next prediction, the Alabama Crimson Tide. And tell me your thoughts down in the comments below on what you think. Most of y'all will probably be thinking they'll be way under 10-2. But I might be surprised. Surprise me if you want. And comment down below your thoughts. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.